I updated my strategy and I made $17,527 in the last 8 days trading the 5-minute orb on Nvidia. For well over a year now, I've been using the 3-minute orb on Nvidia and AMD daily. It's been great, typically nets 15 to 20,000 a month, all of which is documented in my free survey here that goes back to about November of 2023. But ever since Nvidia's stock split a few months ago, it just hasn't been as reliable. I was getting a little chopped up. So a couple of weeks ago, back on August 12th, I went ahead and back tested the 5-minute orb for a couple of months, and the results were insane. There was over a 90% chance of hitting PT1 and over 80% chance of hitting PT2, and about a 20% chance of a false breakout causing a losing trade. So how do we get a 90% win, an 86% win, and a 20% loss? Well, let me break it all down for you right now. No fluff, nice and easy. Now, I use interactive brokers for trading, but I use TradingView for charting a lot, just because it's clean, it's easy, and there's lots of great indicators that you can use. So what you want to do, open up TradingView. You don't need to use the paid account. Keep it free. It's nice and simple. Click on indicators and search for orb. Now, I'm not sure which one I'm using, to be honest, but also, to be honest, it doesn't actually matter. So you're just going to look for orb, play around the settings. That's the opening range breakout. Play around with the settings and adjust it to 5 minutes. Adjust your time frame to 5 minutes. Adjust the actual indicator itself to 5 minutes. There we go. Now, this particular indicator is fantastic because what it'll do is throw up a nice highlighted section on the first 5-minute candle as soon as it closes. All right. So that is your opening range right there. And then you're going to wait for the next candle to break out to the top side or the bottom side. And this particular indicator, again, I'm sorry, I don't know which one it is, but it's fantastic. It automatically sets up profit targets as well. You can see orb 5, PT1, 50%, PT 100%. Now, this doesn't mean 100% on the move. What it'll do is it'll actually take the range itself and it'll set targets every 50% of the size of this range. So it'll be a little bit different every day, but statistically for over a month, 2 months, it's been working fantastic. So here's an example with today's trade. Today is August 23rd, 2024, and the 5-minute candle closed. We saw it heading up. I anticipated that. I loaded up 126 strike price contracts, and as it broke out to the top side, I entered the trade. All right, and you can see within the first 5 minutes, it actually hit PT1 and PT2. Now, it's completely up to you how you want to manage this, but this is what I do. Typically, when I hit PT1, I'll sell off a portion of my profits. All right, so I typically sell off 30%, sometimes 50%. It hits PT2. Typically, I'll sell off the majority of what I've got left and leave a few runners after that. So we hit PT2, and I took some more profits, and then I let it sit for a little bit. Now, actually, I believe on this indicator, we can set additional... show extended price targets. There we go. So on today's trade in particular, I took off about 50% right here. I took off a little bit more right here. And then I sold my runners just as we broke PT3. And that made me about 1,600 today, I believe, which is not bad for about 15 minutes of work. All right, so that's it. That's the whole strategy. I mean, this is not anything new or revolutionary. This is just what I've been doing. And I've done it for the last 8 days, 8 trading days. We can come back here, previous day. Incredible. There we are. Breaks down to the downside. We got PT1, pulls back up in, comes down. Yeah, PT2, PT3. Here we are, nice and clean. We hit PT2. Came back in a couple times, so you just got to be patient. But we almost hit PT3. Over here. So this is a great example of how we can have a 90% win rate and a 20% loss rate on this. All right, so what happens is we have the 5-minute candle here. It closes. The second candle broke out to the top side. I would have entered the trade. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did. And then it pulls back down. See, it tries again, and it pulls back down. And once we start heading towards the bottom, you want to get out of that losing trade. You're probably in a pretty bad drawdown there. But when it breaks out to the downside, you can see we hit PT1, PT2, PT3. So great winning trade and a losing trade in the same day. Hopefully, if you manage it well, you come out on top and come out green. All right, let's check the other days here. Yeah, this is incredible. I think we hit up to profit target 10. I personally don't have the patience for this. I typically get out around 10:30 or 11. I don't like to be in very long. I just want to be in the first hour of the day, and then I'm done. But you can see how incredibly easy this strategy is. Here's the first 5-minute candle, breaks out, pulls back, and then it continues upwards again. Just a lot of back and forth. And look, we hit PT3 before 10:30 in the morning. Fantastic. That's a strategy. That's how it works. I haven't tested it out on AMD yet. I assume it's quite similar, but I'm not going to actually do it live until I back test it. You can see I've also tested it out on the 15-minute time frame, and the results were not as great. PT1 had a success rate of just under 70%, PT2 under 50%, and there was a much higher loss rate there, so I'm not too interested. Now, the 15-minute orb is great on other things such as SPY or QQQ, but you typically have to sit in it a lot longer, and again, I like to be done before 10:30. That's a strategy. Like I said, I've been using it for the last 8 days, and it's just been absolutely bonkers. So you can see back here on July 31st, I was still using the 3-minute orb on AMD and NVIDIA. I also trade Qs and SPY sometimes, and it was great. I was getting 5% a day. There we go. Here's the first day on the 5-minute orb, August 13th, 2024. Here's my first day trying it out, August 13th, and as you can see, the first time I did it was a false breakout and resulted in a loss. And then the second one, I hit PT1 and PT2. August 13th, if we pop over, we take a look at the chart. You can see right here, we had the false breakout to the downside, came back up, and I was looking to get out, but it skyrocketed pretty quick, and I got that larger loss. But then I got back in some calls right away as soon as it broke out to the top side, because you have to take it. Because if you only do one trade and it's a false breakout, then you're not going to catch the proper one. All right, so pops out of the top, got in it, hit PT1 and PT2, and I made some money back. By day 2, I got a little more under control here. You can see it's fantastic. NVIDIA, August 14th, 3,500. Let's take a look. Yeah, beautiful. Nice and clean. Broke out, I got in, pulled back up a tiny bit, not too much though, and just dropped in that single 5-minute candle all the way to PT2, and I was all out here. And you can see the next day, August 15th, 1,900, 3% of my account. Nice clean again. The first 5-minute candle closes. We get PT1, PT2, all by 10 o'clock. So that's a strategy. If you're interested in learning some of the other techniques that I use, I only use 2 or 3 strategies every single day. Go ahead and join the group. Click the link below. It's free. All right. All the trading education in here is free. I'm not hiding or keeping anything back from you. There is a premium members section, but you don't have to join. But the big thing people like to join the premium members section for is listening in live here. So we have a listen in live section every morning. Myself and the moderators, Silent and Blah, they're in there. We're in there. We're calling out our trades, calling out our entries, our exits, everything in real time. And sometimes it's just nice to follow along and hear, because you can do this 5-minute orb, but there are a few other things that we watch sometimes, and we call those trades out as well. You can try it out for free for 7 days, no credit card required. And if you don't like it, don't do it again. Honestly, it just feels better trading with a group sometimes.